Absolutely a wonderful job on the national anthem, as always, when we arrive here in Leslie County, whether it's for football. First time, Jim, I think that you and I have been here for a basketball game. Tonight, it'll be the Clay County Tigers, the defending champions of the WYMT tournament, taking on the Leslie County Eagles. We have a pretty good crowd for Tuesday night.
Yeah, Keith, we do. And Clay County coming in with a record of 12 wins against 10 defeats. And we'll get to their starters there. You see 43, Reggie Jackson. He's one of the forwards. Also 21, Darrell Hoskins. Of course, Keith, we saw Darrell Hoskins have some big games in our Mountain Classic, which Clay County won, by the way. At the center, 53, Brandon Smith. In the guards, 35, Victor Sizemore. And 41, Tim Rogers. Keith, Clay County, a team that has been in a thick of a lot of battles lately. 4 road games in 5 days made it difficult for them. Leslie County comes in 12 wins against 9 defeats. Began the year at 4 with 13 of their first 16 games, Keith, on the road. And that's a lot of road warriors. Leslie County, of course, coached by Ron Stidham, and their starting lineups, Chad Meade, number 5, along with Jason Allen, 12. The post position, 34, Paul Melton, along with 43, Brian Mullins, will play a forward. And maybe you've heard of the guy that rounds out the starting lineup. Here he comes, 22, Tim Couch. And Keith, we're set for a terrific high school basketball game.
Indeed we are, Jim. We've been looking forward to this one. A lot of people think that maybe the 14th region, the most competitive of anywhere in eastern Kentucky, including the 13th and the 15th. You've got about 5 or 6 schools that can win that regional championship and make it out to the Sweet 16. Tonight we have 2 of those teams that have to be considered at least in the top 4 in this region.
Oh, there's no question about that, Keith. And you see the fans getting into it across the way. Hoskins and Melton tip it up.
It is going to be loud tonight, Jim.
No question about that. And you'll see some changing defenses. I think you see Leslie opening up in the zone. You'll see them man-to-man a lot of times on the half court, but their game, I think, will be to try to put the press on Clay County. We saw Clay County vulnerable to that press earlier in the year.
Well, 2 things real quickly as Clay has the basketball. 1, Leslie in a zone, and Tim Couch at 6'5" or 6'6", outplaying a 2 guard, or the guard on the zone instead of a back man. Also, we talked about many people trying to go man-to-man against Clay County, how it just didn't work. Leslie evidently going to try the zone to start the ball game, and we've got the first foul belonging to Jason Allen reaching in against Clay County.
He will get the officials to you. They are Tommy Hall and Larry Thacker. And Clay County, a team from the 13th region, 49th district. We'll talk about their district tournament situation. Of course, Leslie County, 14th region, 54th district. Clay being very patient. See Hoskins skip past Keith.
And another foul belonging to Leslie County. It's going to be Brian Mullins. That was not a good pass. Clay County right now being patient. We've gone 1 minute 1 second. As of yet, we haven't had an attempt at a shot. Brandon Smith underneath, didn't get it to go, and the rebound brought off by the Eagles.
Got Paul Melton with the rebound, Keith. He'd hurt his back in a game last week, and Coach Stidham didn't know how much he'd be able to go tonight, but he is a gamer, and he'll try to go. Of course, we saw Paul Melton come up with some key catches. Tim Couch through, of course.
Well, that time it was Tim Couch on the receiving end of the breakaway. Give it back to Melton, who is fouled, and Paul Melton will step to the free throw line. Shooting 2 and an opportunity to get the first points on the board.
Melton averages 6 points a contest. Had 15 against Breathitt County earlier in the year, 13 against Bell County.
Connects on 1 out of 2.
There's the guy that Clay County wants to watch things happen, Keith.
Jim, as Darrell Hoskins takes it to the hole for the 2 points, you got to wonder, Leslie held Clay over a minute without a shot in that 2-3 zone. They go man-to-man. Darrell Hoskins took advantage of it in a hurry.
We saw him in our tournament hit for 44 against Jackson County, Keith. He is potent.
Mullins baseline. It's a long three-pointer that time by Jason Allen that's no good, and Darrell Hoskins will clear the boards.
Jason Allen lit up Clay County for 37 points the last time these teams met earlier this year. Leslie County wins.
Darrell Hoskins off the baseline. He got the finger roll to go. It's 4-1. Clay on top by 3. Leslie at the other end on the run out. Shot won't go. Sizemore with the rebound, and he'll save it back to Brandon Smith.
See Hoskins coming up to the top, Keith, and Brian Mullins will try and stick with him. Not an enviable task as Clay County sort of works the double stacks on the low post.
Well, the Eagles staying with that man-to-man after Hoskins had burned them twice in a row. Sizemore down the lane. It's stripped away by Melton. Here's Couch on the run out. All the way down with the finger roll, and Tim Couch gets the first field goal of the ball game for Leslie County.
Now Leslie will move into the full court press, and a couple of good athletes there, Keith. You saw going head-to-head, Couch and Hoskins.
What a steal by Meade for the basket that time, and Clay is going to get a timeout that quickly. 4 unanswered points by the Eagles, and Leslie County jumps on top 5-4. We're coming right back after this timeout.
He's accelerating.
You see Chad Meade going coast to coast and pulling up from the free throw line to give the Eagles back a 1-point lead. Leslie back with the full court press, and again the Tigers have turned it over.
Something that Clay County has struggled with this year, but you've got to tip their hat to the guard play. Tim Rogers, Victor Sizemore getting better as the year goes along, and Tim Rogers been bothered by that ankle problem, Keith, all year long, and some other kids with some injuries in this game as we get to it.
Meade's shot is short. He goes and gets it and puts it back in.
Chad Meade with 6 points already, and we mentioned he was out with injury, Keith. Did not play in the first meeting of these teams this year. Leslie winning that one by 3.
There's a steal by Paul Melton. Baseline, it is up. It is an offensive charge against Jason Allen.
Allen takes it to the hole, and Rogers slides down low, draws the charge. Official Tommy Hall with the call, and Larry Thacker handing to Rogers there.
Clay is having some problems now with that full court press. Sizemore gets the relief. He'll hand it back to Rogers. Working down into the lane. Rogers had it stripped away. That is the second steal for Melton. Down to Couch. 15-footer on the way. In and out. Eagles with the rebound, and Mullins is fouled by Brandon Smith. That is going to be his second, Jim.
Brian Mullins, Coach Ron Stidham tells me, is the most improved player on this team from year beginning to this point. I said, what am I going to see when I get a chance to see this fella? He said, you're going to see a guy that gets in, does the dirty work, gets the tough rebounds, and also does a good job defending on the low post. Well, in the man-to-man situation, he's taking on Darrell Hoskins, Keith, and, you know, Hoskins doesn't always hang out in the low post.
Mullins short with the first free throw. Now, this ball game has had some interesting changes in it in the first quarter. 3:34 to left to go in this first quarter of play. Leslie showing zone. Then switching up to the man, and now the full court press, and again tipped away. Rogers recovered, and now Clay tosses it away. Melton with another steal. Couch looking underneath, and the foul is going to belong to Darrell Hoskins. The Tigers, Jim, right now are just simply out of whack against this full court press.
Tough press giving Clay County problems. And Keith, if we can get a shot of Coach James Burchell at some point, you'll see a different kind of tie that he sports. Okay?
Well, we're going to have to do it quick because he's already shed the jacket and his shirt tail's already out. So I'm not sure how long that tie is going to stay on.
There you see it. That one is one of the sort of pattern-made jobs there by Mr. Andre Philpott, brother of Lonnie Philpott, one of his players, Keith. When Clay County won the Mountain Classic, a special time, as you saw Clay go through some tough problems, and Andre made the tie for Coach Burchell and got all the players to sign it. And I think it looks pretty attractive. I'm wanting one too, but I guess I'm going to wind up short on that one.
Hang in there, Jim. We'll get them. Tigers down on the baseline, and Tommy Hall has a travel call against Rogers. It'll turn over to Leslie County. 6 turnovers already in the first quarter for the Tigers.
Leslie County won 8 of their last 9 games.
You know, there's an old saying, when you feel it, you feel it. Chad Meade has 9 points of the 15, and he evidently feels it.
Transfer from Hazard, Keith. He's made this team much better with the quickness that he displays on the point. And Coach Stidham was high in his praise for Chad Meade, said he believes he's the best point guard in the 14th region right now, and certainly he's gotten off to a start that would have us ditto that.
Hoskins down into the lane. He is fouled by Couch. Couch whistled for the foul. It will be a 2-shot shooting foul.
Clay County, excuse me, Keith.
First time we've had a chance to broadcast Tim Couch in basketball. We saw quite a bit of him in the football season. There was some talk, Jim, that Tim Couch could be Mr. Football and Mr. Basketball when this year started.
Yeah, I think, though, that this year it's been difficult for Tim to find the momentum for basketball. He's been everywhere, Keith. To Louisville, to Florida, in all kinds of different situations. Parade, magazine. He's the #1 player.
Rogers looking baseline, and it's knocked out of bounds. It will remain Clay County's ball. 2 minutes, 13 seconds to go in the opening quarter. 15-7. Leslie County has jumped on top.
John Jones into the lineup for Clay County, Keith. 31.
There's Rogers. He got the good pick, and Paul Melton is going to be called for the foul.
Well, Keith, he went baseline and created the problem. And, you know, there's another fella who went baseline here, a guy by the name of Richard Millhouse Nixon, in whose name this gymnasium has been dedicated. He went baseline here after his problems. Of course, we're not inferring that Tim Rogers will have any type of problems like that.
I was just waiting to see how you were going to tie that in. I didn't know, but I knew you had something in mind.
The Nixon Gymnasium.
1 out of 2 from the line. Leslie the other way. It is blocked against Allen.
And now Clay County going to have to be patient, get the good shot. It really got Leslie in a little bit of foul difficulty here early, Keith.
I like the move by the Eagles that time, switching to the zone as Hoskins brought it down, looking for a one-on-one. Shot by Rogers didn't go. Knocked away. It will belong to the Eagles of Leslie County. Kind of odd us doing Tuesday night basketball. Normally we're Friday night or Saturday night. It's a special Tuesday night game, just so you can see things like that. Tim Couch draining one just inside the three-point arc.
Kind of fitting that he would use uniform number 22, as he is probably the most famous number 2 Kentucky high school football.
Clay County will get Victor Sizemore, Brandon Smith, and Reggie Jackson back into the lineup. Down by 9, 17-8. After trailing 4-1 to start the ball game. They have outscored Clay County 16-4. Couch from 15, no good. Rebound fought for and won by Meade, and he put a beautiful pass that I think caught his teammates by surprise that time.
Chad Meade really playing up a level, Keith. And Coach Stidham mentioned to me that Tim Couch really giving it an extra effort. You saw there picking up his second foul. Keith, he's been bothered by a severe ankle sprain, and he's been going through treatment. Coach Stidham told me a couple of games ago he didn't think anyone else would even have dressed, much less played, but Tim Couch, a gutty game performance.
Rogers baseline and somehow got that one to go down. 17-10. There's Meade with a short pull-up. Won't go. Got his own rebound. Stolen away by Reggie Jackson.
The 6'2 senior Reggie Jackson had a big game last evening. Clay beat Kaywood. Hoskins with 29 points, 10 rebounds. Jackson with 16 points. Now,
there's a steal by Couch all the way down. He got the layup.
6 points for Tim Couch.
Almost another steal. You said Couch had picked it up a step. He is showing that right now. Hoskins trying to get off a shot off the glass. No good, and there's Couch. 1 second remaining. It will not go, and that is the end of what has been a pretty good quarter for Leslie County. They lead 19-10 over Clay. The Eagles lead Clay County 19-10. Keith Casebolt along with Jim Frazier on this Tuesday night of high school basketball. Couch down in the lane, had it blocked by Hoskins that time. Tigers looking to run. They have had very few breaks in this ball game. And I'm talking about fast breaks. Brandon Smith with the putback, won't go, and the foul is going to be on Brandon Smith, and if so, Jim, that's number 3.
Just tough shooting luck on the inside for Clay County. When I talked with Coach James Burchell, I said, what are the problems that Leslie will present for your squad? He said, well, they're just so hard to guard. They're quick and strong, and he felt like his team would go into a 1-2-2 defense and sort of try to play some matchup out of that. And it's worked, I guess, in some regard. It worked that last time there, but Keith, you can see where Leslie County's quickness makes it tough.
Where Brandon Smith, Coach Burchell had a substitute trying to get into the game. Smith made a big steal that was close to a 4th personal foul. Clay got away with one. Now Tim Couch takes over at the points. Clay County dropping back into what seems to be a little matchup zone. And there is Chad Meade again, his second 3-pointer of the ball game.
Coach Burchell said the last time they met, they sort of shaded Couch, and Allen killed him with 37 points. Meade did not play. Keith, right now Chad Meade coming back with a vengeance against the cross-county rival, I guess you'd say, or inter-county rival.
Reggie Jackson fouled after getting the rebound and trying to put the putback. One thing you had, Paul Melton, by the way, picked up the foul. One thing you haven't mentioned, the Eagles, Leslie County, with black socks tonight.
Yep.
Now, all this color stuff that's been talked about, uniforms and everything, I thought for sure, Jim, that you would be the first one
to come through with that.
Much like a Billy Packer to say, what about the black socks? Why do we have them?
Well, Keith, you'll remember that instead of playing devil's advocate, a lot of times when we did Leslie football, I played the volunteer advocate.
You did.
I said maybe we should go orange if we're number 22, but luckily he was much smarter than I.
Jim, I love it when a man can be a man and admit when he's wrong. Tim Couch down the lane for the layup. He's going to have an opportunity for a 3-point play in what right now is a ball game that is on the verge of Leslie County putting out of reach. It's 24-12, and the Eagles look to have Clay's number.
9 points for Couch so far. And Keith, I was talking with my dad before I came over, and I said, well, you know, I can't believe that Couch will be able to have the same type of game he has in football. You know, he just was so smooth. I figured surely to goodness he'd see some ruffle feathers, but well, my dad said, is this a tournament game? I said, well, no. He said he won't be worried.
Yeah. Paul Melton with a putback from Couch. It won't go. Clay brings it across. Rogers looking to Hoskins, who has been rather quiet if you've seen him before. Down the lane, Rogers left it a little short. Asher can't control it. And finally, it's picked up by Hoskins at half court.
Just tough shooting luck for Clay. They can't convert, can't finish on the inside. They've had some good looks, just won't drop.
The 2-3 zone right now is really bothering Clay County. Rogers, three-pointer, no good. Allen brings it around.
When I talked with Leslie, Coach Ron Stidham, he felt like there's three-minute stretches that are critical in a game. First 3 minutes of the game, first 3 minutes of the second half, and the last 3 minutes of the game. Keith, right now, even though Leslie really didn't get out of the gate that well the first 3 minutes of the game, they dominated the last 5 of that first quarter, and it sort of carried over into this second quarter as well.
Reggie Jackson for 3. If it goes, no good. Clay County has been struggling from the field, and that's to put it lightly.
But they're getting some good looks, Keith. It's just not dropping behind the arc for them.
They're not going to have time to get too many looks if Chad Meade keeps popping in three-pointers. It's 28-14.
I've got him with 15 unofficially so far, Keith.
Here's Hoskins. He had the open three-pointer that time, and he didn't take it. Victor Sizemore looking. Stolen away by Meade. 2-on-1, and Meade all the way down as Rogers tried to shade Tim Couch. Meade got the basket. Clay will call for a timeout. An impressive looking Leslie County bunch. 30-14. We'll take a timeout and return. I just made mention to you that the Tigers of Clay County look a little tired right now, a little weary, and you brought up an important stat for us.
Well, they've played now with the rescheduling and so forth here. They had to play last night. 4 road games in 5 days, Keith, and it's the second time in 3 weeks that they've done that. So, you know, they've got some, I guess, legitimate excuses for being tired, just being on the road like that. But when I talked with Coach Burchell, he mentioned, you know, we've gone locally on these road games, tough games, and great move by John Jones there, Keith. But, you know, his point was, as he comes to the adjacent county here to play Leslie County, you don't have to go 100 miles to find tough competition. You can find it right here at home, and he's gotten his fill of it on the road.
Chad Meade can't get that three-pointer to go down, and Clay is going to try to crawl back into this one with 4 minutes remaining in the first half.
They're getting good looks behind the arc, Keith. It's just not working for them.
Well, John Jones has 2 in a row. And right now, Leslie is going to call for a timeout. So Clay County, thinking about it, they're going to attack the zone with a dribble. That time it paid off for them. They're outside shooting. And a lot of times when you look into that huddle right now of Clay, when in doubt, I had a guy I used to play ball with that said, when in doubt, drive to the basket. If your legs are tired and you just don't feel like the jumper's going to be there, go ahead, take it to the hole, see if you can't draw the foul. And I really believe right now we've seen Hoskins pass up a 3, Rogers, Jackson, all 3 are who the best outside shooters. I believe that Clay County, because they are tired, Jim, might start taking the ball to the hole.
Yep. And see the crowd there. Of course, Clay County coach James Burchell, assisted by Roger Strong, Jerry Combs, and Cecil Combs. Clay County from the 49th district. That's Jackson County, Oneida, and Rockcastle County. And Clay will be taking on Oneida, Keith, in the district tournament. And Coach Burchell mentioned to me that Oneida is no pushover. They've played very well. I believe they went to Oneida's already beaten them by 1 this year earlier, and Oneida beat Williamsburg down at Williamsburg just this past weekend.
Tim Couch just put on a superb move. He didn't get the shot to go down, but he showed a little bit of the athletic ability he has on the basketball court with that spin move. However, Mullins did get the rebound and the foul. He'll be at the line.
Keith, do you think that number 22 will make the effort to put on the blue and white in basketball as well as football?
You know, in the beginning, Jim, I really thought so. I thought, in fact, that would be the reason that he attended UK, was so that he could play both sports. But now more and more, I believe that he'll probably concentrate on football. Much like what Deion Sanders did the other day.
Why not? Of course, this is the 40th anniversary of the King, Clay. Of course, Kelly Coleman, his performance in the state tournament, 1956. I bring that up, Keith, because in the 15th regional tournament, he was faced with a fellow by the name of Lowell Hughes from Prestonsburg, and a number of times during that year, they played one another, with the King getting 60 and Hughes getting 50, and then Lowell Hughes went on to play basketball and football for the University of Kentucky, playing quarterback and also a reserve on the 1958 national champions. So it's not without precedent, and perhaps Tim could do something like that, and he would be filling the shoes of another mountain player. Lowell Hughes from Prestonsburg did the trick 40 years ago.
Possible, not probable. Meade down the lane, should have been a foul called, didn't get it. He almost got his own rebound, but it's going to belong to Clay. And at the other end, we saw the Tigers shoot another air ball from three-point range again, which suggests at this point that they are just tired in the legs.
And of course, Leslie knows that putting on the full court pressure going to be difficult.
Hoskins breaking out to the three-point arc. However, there's a foul underneath, and it's going to belong to Clay County.
Keith, you saw 23, Dwayne White, pushing it up there. Kid just a freshman. You're going to see a lot of him next year. I was here and watched the B team game. You see him checking out there. Excuse me. He hit some big shots in the B team game, which was won by Leslie County by 4 points.
It's 30-18, Jim, and I've got to be honest with you. From the way this ball game has been played, you would think that it would be a 20-plus point spread right now, but it's only 12. Obviously, Clay County is still in the ball game.
Jason Allen at 21 versus Breathitt County. 24 versus Allen Central. 37 the last time these teams met. And Keith, that's his first point as I have him with here this evening. Sweet southpaw touch. Allen averages 14 points a contest.
Bad inbounds pass and another turnover. Couch pulls it up, long three-pointer off the rim, no good, and Hoskins got the rebound. Darrell Hoskins stops. He puts it up from three. It is short. Saves it inbounds to Jackson. Can't get it to go, and still battling for it. Finally a foul on Jason Allen. I just think everything about Clay County's offense right now is off tilt due to the fact that they seem to be tired, and it's only the first half.
And Reggie Jackson will go to the line. Keep these teams with a couple of common opponents over the last couple of weeks. Jackson with his 5th point. Bell County, a team that Clay County lost to, 63-58. Leslie beat them pretty good by 14, 76-62. And then Allen Central. Clay beat them last Saturday night by 1, 60-59, while Leslie beat up on them pretty good at 90-55. So if you use that barometer, I guess you had to figure at home here, Leslie may be a 10-point favorite.
Tim Couch with about a 10-footer. 34-20. 14-point spread and a minute 30 to go in this first half of play. There's the steal. Couch down, and he almost got the dunk. He gave it the layup, and a good effort nonetheless.
Well, Keith, he does have an ankle problem, and not sure if he really wanted to give it all that stress.
John Jones down the lane, and John has about 3 of those identical moves to his credit for 6 points.
He's keeping them close right now, Keith, by taking it at the hole.
Allen driving down in. Couch for 3. If it goes, no good. And the foul is going to be on Mullins.
Shot didn't fall for Tim Couch, but boy, he looks good on the shot, Keith. He gets squared up, good rotation on it. I did, by the way, do a little statistical figuring on his records, just in case there is maybe like an 8th grade quarterback out there that wants to break the record. All you've got to do is go 18 of 28 for 2 touchdowns, 210 yards, maybe have 1 picked off every other game, and you fall just short in 4 years.
In 4 years. Reggie Jackson with the putback off the free throw. Won't go.
I mean, 200 yards for 4 years, every game, and you're going to be short.
That is absolutely amazing.
And I forgot to throw in the 2 touchdown passes as well.
Chad Meade just got it swatted, got it back, and got it swatted again, but this time he did draw the foul. Meade put on a beautiful spin move, but it was rejected by Shane Brumley all the way out to the top of the arc. I like the moves that I've seen from Meade tonight. I like also the shooting ability that he showed.
I think he does a couple of things on the point, and that's offensive pressure and defensive pressure, Keith. And Leslie County, a team that preseason #1 started off 4-8. We mentioned 13 of the first 16 on the road as you see Coach Stidham there. He's assisted by James Cottle, Doug Adams, but I think they're just now finding stride, and they could be the best in the 14th region, and that says a lot because there is a competitive situation in the 14th this year.
Perry Central, Knott County Central, Hazard, Breathitt County.
Right. Of course, Hazard, a team that beat this Clay County squad by 10 a week ago, and of course Hazard was eliminated early in our Mountain Classic.
Jones baseline, this time it doesn't go. Hoskins with the rebound, acrobatic move, no good. Got it again, stripped inside, and Couch is called for the foul.
And you see Tim Couch there reacting to his 3rd personal foul with 22 seconds on the clock. Number 22 picks up foul 3, I believe.
And he does that with 22 seconds remaining on the clock. And with Clay County, 22 is the score. That must have been an omen.
Must have. Keep 6 points for Darrell Hoskins. Had 29 last night.
A little bit unbelievable in its own right. Darrell Hoskins in the Clay County win in the WYMT tournament showed us he is one of the premier talents in all of Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah, now they got Hoskins and Couch singled up on one another. Boy, I'd like to see that in the second half, wouldn't you, Keith?
Indeed. Meade baseline and had it blocked by Reggie Jackson and drew the foul. Meade just worked the clock down to about 6 seconds, took it inside, and got the good body contact.
Coach Stidham mentioned that the snow really kind of a blessing for his squad. Why? Well, they got a little extra practice in because, you know, they had to work the football out of their systems. And also, they've had the injury bug all year long. And the snow able to heal the wounds through the break and playing much better. You see Couch resting on the bench.
Chad Meade got them both. 2 seconds. Jackson tries to get it off to Jones. It is on the way and good, but guess what? A little too late. The clock had already expired, so Clay County finally gets a 3-pointer to fall down, but it's too late. 39-24, an impressive showing by the Leslie County Eagles. We're at halftime at the Richard M. Nixon Gymnasium with Leslie on top. Three-point shot hasn't been there. I don't have them with a 3-pointer in the entire game.
Keith, you're exactly right. Clay County has not hit the 3, and the Leslie band performs. They're on top by 15. And Keith, I'm not sure whether you could say the play of Chad Meade, he's done so very well at the point, or is it the defense that has made the big
pressure gave Clay County as much trouble as it did. but they had numerous turnover time and time again, and really had problems getting the ball past half court. And I didn't see anybody. The other thing that shocked me is I didn't see any one individual for Clay step up, take control, put the ball under their arm, and say, I'm going to lead us through this full court press. And it was as if, though, Jim, actually they were all looking for someone else to step up and take control. It just didn't happen in the first half.
No question about that, Keith. And I think James Burchell will talk to his charges about the importance of this second half. They may not win the game, but they need to play a tough second half, I think, to set up for district tournament action. They've only got one more game. The district tournament begins Monday night. You don't want to get blown out here by 30 and try to repair the psyche of your team this close. So the second half, big for Clay County.
One other point, Jim, you and I talked in the WYMT tournament watching Darrell Hoskins. Would it be smart to go zone, or would it be smart to stay in the man-to-man? You and I both felt like that a zone would be best against Hoskins, who slices a lot to the basket. We didn't see that. Most teams went man-to-man. He burnt them. Start this ball game, he gets 2 quick baskets against the man-to-man, then manages only another 2 points the entire half against the zone.
I think so, too. And the full court pressure took him out of his game. I'm not sure if he was able, due to the tiredness, to get his legs under him in the second half. The rest here at the break, perhaps we'll see a different Darrell Hoskins in the second half.
On the bright side, it has been a Leslie County first half, but they only lead by 15. It could have been worse. 39-24, the halftime score at Leslie County. Tuesday night, where Leslie County leads Clay County 39-24. This station is one of the few stations around the country that has the opportunity to broadcast high school basketball, Jim, and we've been just a little bit of everywhere throughout Eastern Kentucky, bringing you the talent of these young kids on the floor in football and in basketball. Our crew, which always does a marvelous job tonight, we understand it's going to be one of the last nights for our buddy Tony Brown, who's with us tonight on camera, as far as being with our road crew on the road. So we wish him luck in his new endeavors, and
certainly so.
Luck, of course.
Yes, the best of luck.
Let him know that we'll miss him.
Touchdown, Tony Brown.
There he is. Touchdown, Tony Brown.
TD.
Yeah. A slow touchdown, I might add. It was never a quick touchdown. 39-24, a 15-point lead. We have Leslie back out on the floor, and I don't know if that's any indication or not of what we talked about being tired, but Clay might just be taking advantage of the extra rest right now.
They could be doing that, Keith, and I think you'll see in this second half Leslie try to put the screws down. I mean, they're going to have the full court pressure, and if Clay is not able to handle that, then it's going to be a long second half. However, if they can break the full court pressure, attack, they can get back in this thing, because they have been getting good looks at the basket, even in the half court, in the slow up-top situation.
We'll take a timeout, and when we return, we'll have the start of tonight's second half. The Eagles of Leslie County on top of the Tigers from Clay, 39-24. The basketball to start the second half. They trail by 15. Jim, they've got to get it going and do so early to get back into it.
Boy, don't they, though, Keith? Individual scoring. First for Clay, 7 points to Darrell Hoskins, 6 each for Reggie Jackson, and off the bench, John Jones. 3 points went to Tim Rogers, 2 points to Stephen Asher. Victor Sizemore, Brandon Smith, Shane Brumley did not score.
Well, Clay County will come back with a little bit of a surprise. John Jones grabs the start, as does Brumley.
For Leslie County, they were led in scoring by Chad Mead with 20. Tim Couch hits for 13. 4 points went to Jason Allen. 1 each for Paul Melton and Brian Mullins. And they sort of do the Iron Man 5 here at Leslie County. Key starting 5 seniors. Coach Ron Stidham said that's the first time he's ever had that happen here at Leslie County.
John Jones gets the first free throw. He really had some spark for Clay County off the bench in the first half, so he gets the call to start the second half.
Keith, first 3 minutes of the second half, a big moment or big time for Coach Ron Stidham, and Clay County must overcome that and cut the deficit shorter.
Allen couldn't get the 3 to go. Now Leslie will drop back into that 2-3 zone again.
They were getting good looks on the wing, Keith, as they moved the ball around. They were getting good looks on the wing for the 3. Let's see what happens.
Clay being a little patient, maybe too patient. Here's Reggie Jackson, baseline, left it short. And the Eagles will bring it away. Couch to Meade and back to Couch, and that is a three-pointer.
Looked good all the way, didn't he, Keith? Right in front of us. And here comes that full court pressure that Clay must deal with.
2-2-1. It's broken this time. Brumley down on the baseline, and he draws the foul. Clay looked a little bit better against the press that time. I think one of the reasons the ball was in the hands of Darrell Hoskins to start with.
Right, Keith. Now, one of the things that makes a press effective sometimes, this is a short court. Okay, a little bit of a smaller version of the big high school court, and you can make a press pretty effective on one of those short courts, and that's what Leslie County does to you.
You know, I really hadn't noticed that until you brought it up.
It's always good to have a home court.
Traditionally in Eastern Kentucky, some of the older gyms were the hardest to win in.
Oh, no question about that. The cracker boxes, but those were the classic short courts.
Chad Meade just hanging in the air until he can draw the foul from Jones that time. Meade has really shown the athletic ability, the talents of the shooting, but also the head for the game. He's made some heads-up plays in this game.
Transfer from Hazard, looking for his 21st point.
You say that transfer thing almost like it was a junior college thing.
He averages 22.3 a contest.
1 out of 2.
116 assists on the year.
Eagles back to the 2-3. Hoskins tried to get it underneath to Jackson. It's tipped away. It will remain Clay County's ball. One of the few times we've seen the Tigers split the middle. They've been content to stand out around the arc. Brumley, reverse layup, didn't get it to go. Meade with the pass to Couch, and he got the one-hander. Beautiful fast break that time by the Eagles.
Boy, wasn't it though, Keith? The ball hardly touches the floor, and it got going with the tough low post defense by Brian Mullins as he makes the block and then gets it out on the outlet.
Well, Hoskins having problems just getting free. Jones, two-pointer on the way. It is good. I'm telling you, John Jones has 10 points in the ball game, and he has been the highlight tonight for Clay County.
He has been the bright spot.
Allen with a running one-hander, no good. Fight for the rebound, and he saved it back to Meade. Here's Couch for 3. Had a hand in his face, and it is going to be knocked out of bounds, belonging to the Eagles. I think Brandon Smith will get back into the ball game, and Brumley will take a seat.
Keith, Leslie County in that tough 54th district. They draw Buckhorn, Perry Central, and Hazard meet in the opposite first-round matchup.
Couch had it blocked that time. It is off of Leslie County. It belongs to Clay County. 45-29, 16-point advantage for the Eagles. They stay with the 2-2-1. Dropping back into that zone, which has held Clay County in check.
Not really flashing people into the middle to have the defense slough off, Keith. Just kind of moving it around the perimeter. And they're going to have to get some looks on the inside to set up the outside game.
You said it, just not enough movement. You got 4 men out above the arc.
Kind of making it easy to guard.
Indeed. Hoskins down the lane, reverse layup. That's stuff that we saw all night long when Clay County took on the Belfry Pirates in the WYMT tournament. Moves of that nature, and Darrell Hoskins quiet tonight.
For sure. He had a couple of big games in our tournament, Keith. He hit for 25 against Belfry, and then the night prior, he had 44 against Jackson County.
Allen's shot is short, and Hoskins clears it away.
Okay, now, Keith, with a 14-point spread, let's see if Clay can get a bucket here and then cut things down to about 12, 11 or so as we move into the TV timeout.
Jackson underneath. He's got the 2, and it's back to a 12-point ball game. Well, the Eagles now have become a little lethargic.
Lake County playing a tougher brand of defense here on that matchup, Keith, and some tough shots not dropping for Leslie right now.
Well, it is all Leslie County on the boards. 3 offensive boards. Couch for 3. If it goes, no good. And John Jones tips up the rebound. Jackson on the breakaway. He's got the 2 points, and it is a 10-point lead. And finally, you hear some noise from the Clay County side of the gym.
Well, we talked about trying to get in around 10 points at the TV timeout. It'll come at the next dead ball. Can't leave that guy open, though.
Allen for 3. He had missed 2 in a row. He knocks that one down.
At 37, the last time these teams met.
Bad inbounds pass, and Mullins gets the bank shot. It is a 5-point swing in a matter of 10 seconds. And we will get a timeout. 3 minutes remaining. It is 50-35. Talk about your spurts. Clay knocks it down to 10, and in 10 seconds, the Eagles put it back up to 15 with a 3-pointer and then an inbounds pass that was stolen for a 2-pointer. Back with the pressure. Reggie Jackson down the lane, and Couch just knocked it in the first row.
Doing a much better job against the press. You see the fans get into it as they bow to number 22.
Jackson pulls it up for 3. Got it.
That's the bucket they needed, Keith. Jackson with 13 points in the game, 7 of those coming in this third quarter. Now they need some denies, and they're sort of doing the 1-2, 1-1, and the space out by Leslie just causing problems in the matchup.
Chad Meade is causing problems right now. Meade has been all over the court.
Now that's the quickness.
Brandon Smith underneath. What a pass from Tim Rogers for the 2. It's back to a 12-point lead, 52-40. We have not seen Victor Sizemore in this quarter. Instead, it is John Jones going the way. Couch down the lane. He's got the 2, and he's got the foul. That's something that I'm a little surprised we haven't seen. Tim Couch, with his height advantage and obviously his strength, he's very physical in his upper body. We haven't seen him post in this ball game.
He was working on Hoskins that particular time, and I think you saw some of the weight room come through. Hoskins and Couch, both of those guys, I think, Keith, have the Division I type skills, but certainly Couch with the much bigger upper torso. The strength worked in for a bucket that time.
Rogers down the middle of the lane, running one-hander, no good, and Leslie brings the rebound away. Watch Meade. Pulls it up from 10. His quickness, missed the shot. Couch puts it back up and in, and is he going to get another 3-point opportunity? Yes, he is. The basket is good.
22 for Tim Couch. He wears number 22. Had 40 versus Owsley County, 28 versus Bell County. Last year, he went over 30, 14 straight games. That's okay, isn't it?
It's not bad. That's not bad. Not when you're supposed to be a football player. It's not bad at all. They have a foul on Brian Mullins going over the back.
Owsley County catching fire. Opened the year 4 wins against 8 defeats. They've won 8 of their last 9. This would make 9 of 10 if they're successful this evening, Keith. And I don't believe you want to catch hold of Leslie County in the tournament.
They have looked good tonight. I've been very impressed. 1:20 remaining in the third quarter. 16-point advantage for the Eagles of Leslie County.
And they basically do it with 5 fellas, Keith.
Jackson off the baseline, got it up high. Little short jump shot that won't go, and it belongs to Leslie County.
Official Larry Thacker there with the call.
You know, now that you mention it, I think we've only seen one substitution for Leslie County. That came with about 10 seconds left to go in the first half. Right. So the entire ball game basically played by the starting five.
Well, when I talked with Coach Burchell, he said if we're going to win this game, we're going to have to play great defense. We're going to have to cut down on our turnovers. They didn't necessarily eliminate the turnovers, and Leslie, with such quickness at each position, they've been unable to defend them very well.
Couch down the lane, his shot won't go. Jackson pulls it away. 35 seconds remaining in the third period. Jones open for three, didn't take it. Brandon Smith trying to post. Clock down to 18 now.
Yeah, pretty nice battle on the inside with Couch and Brandon Smith.
Boy, Reggie Jackson just took the tunnel all the way through. He had a freeway pass or a toll gate pass. Meade coming down with 6 seconds left, and Jones is going to be whistled for the foul. That with 5 ticks left on the clock in the third period at a 14-point advantage.
Leslie led it by 9 at the end of the first quarter, 19-10. By 15 at the end of the half, 39-24. Clay's chopped 1 point off that lead, but let's see.
4 seconds. Couch pulls it up for three. If it goes, no good. At the end of 3, Leslie County stays on top by 14. It's going to be an uphill battle for Clay County in this fourth quarter. On top of the Eagles 4-1 to start the ball game. Since then, Leslie County has been in control. Right now they lead by 14 as we start the fourth period. Jim saying it's an uphill battle is an understatement. Clay really is going to have to make a move early in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, now you see Leslie doing some of the things that Clay does, the double stacks on the low post to initiate the offense.
Chad Meade has just absolutely owned the ball game tonight.
Tell you, along with Tim Couch, Keith.
Indeed. Couch has had a wonderful night, but I felt like Meade took the ball game over early.
Right.
Hoskins. Nice pass on the baseline to Brandon Smith. One thing the Eagles are not happy with is the fact that Clay County has started to split the 2-3 zone at the top of the key.
See them sort of doing the double stacks on the low post and trying to free someone.
Well, you got Couch top of the key against Victor Sizemore. Speed advantage Sizemore, strength Couch, and the foul on the baseline is Brandon Smith.
Keith James Burchell in his second year at Clay County. Ron Stidham, 18 years at the helm. Leslie County, of course, they won the regional crown back in 1990 and were eliminated in the quarterfinals of the state tournament by guess who? Clay County. Darrell Hoskins did the trick, and some of the fellows off that regional championship team. Bill Wells was in the post. Joey Caldwell, Greg Couch, Terrell Wilson. Of course, Greg Couch, the brother of Tim Couch. Wonder if Tim will get that opportunity to play in the state tournament. Only time will tell.
Be quite an honor, wouldn't it? Meade looking underneath to Brian Mullins, and that was a beautiful pass. You talked about his assists on the year. His entire floor game has been there tonight. 61-44, and Clay has turned it over again against the press. The other thing to think about is Leslie County has gone basically with 5 or 6 men, but they've kept up the full court pressure the entire night.
Right, and the killer instinct, Keith, that they portray. See the Johnson kid in. He's number 54. But they have that killer instinct that shall separate them from the pack as well.
Darrell Hoskins with a nice move to split the top of the key and get 2. Puts him in double figures with 11. It's about 15 below his average. Allen down the baseline. Shot won't go, and it's cleared away by Asher. Well, the Tigers trying to mount a run. 6 minutes remaining. 15-point lead. Baseline to Asher. He can't get it to go, but he will draw the foul.
Question for Clay. Can they turn Leslie over? Can they stop them on the offensive end? That's the difficult task. The offense, Keith, has struggled, I think, in part because of the tired legs. Certainly, that is the death knell for defense.
They've had a lot of layups that they've missed, just left short, and the three-point shot just hasn't been there. And this is a team that on previous occasions we've seen Rogers, Hoskins, Reggie Jackson, Victor Sizemore, everybody can a three-pointer. It just hasn't been there tonight. Well, it's back to a 13-point lead after the free throws.
Good little matchup up front here with Sizemore and Meade.
Chad Meade getting the pick from Tim Couch, and he took advantage of it to draw the foul from Victor Sizemore.
Just not going to let you put the hand on the defender as he makes a move.
Meade baseline again. Slicing, dicing. He left that one a little bit short, but he runs it down.
Leslie winning the rebounding battle as well, Keith. Tough inside.
Well, that's what you call a big Johnson. He's got the basket and a chance for a three-point play. Every time the Tigers make a move, the Eagles have been able to turn them away at the other end. Free throw won't go. Rebound brought off by Darrell Hoskins. Hoskins all the way down, knocked away by Tim Couch from behind. And evidently last touch by Hoskins because the Eagles get it back.
Not much going right for the 6'5" senior Darrell Hoskins this evening.
Jones matching up with Couch. Down the lane, running one-hander, good. It is the biggest lead of the ball game now, 65-48. It's up to 17, and the Eagles are in complete control. John Jones had it stripped away. 3-on-2. Allen back to Meade, laid it up and avoided the foul.
28 points for the 5'10" senior.
Victor Sizemore running around the pick, and again the layup won't go. Jones tried to put back, no good. Still scrambling for it, and finally picked up by guess who? Chad Meade. Meade with a stutter step off the glass, blocked. Put back up by Johnson, and it's good. Well, you're probably going to see some substitutions from both sides coming in the next 4 minutes. Darrell Hoskins, baseline, got the layup. Hoskins still trying. He's put forth the effort all night. It's just been the fact of the defense from Leslie County. And Couch is fouled, cutting into the middle. Victor Sizemore is going to pick up the foul. Reggie Jackson back into the ball game. Tim Rogers back into the ball game. 19-point lead for the Eagles. And that makes it the biggest at 20. Well, this is the last week of regular season play. Next week we'll be going into the district tournament. Tim Couch has got them both, and that makes it a 21-point advantage. 71-50, and Leslie County feeling good about this one. We'll step away for a timeout and return. Eagles, on top of Clay County.
Well, Keith, the folks have gotten a chance to see Tim Couch, and I think they saw him have a pretty good game.
Darrell Hoskins gets another two indeed. Tim showing that he has the athletic ability. Many wondered, would he walk on the basketball team at UK? I think he's showing now that he can shoot the ball and play if he so chooses to do so.
Oh, there's no question about it, Keith.
Couch from 10, no good.
But Keith, his coach tells me that he always had the offensive abilities, but in this past year, he's really honed in on the defense. And, you know, if some of the people maybe in the mountains have gone out to see Tim Couch, you've got to remember about the mental fatigue that he's been under almost up until this very point.
Right.
He's, of course, had the tough recruiting situation. He handled it like a pro, but awfully tough on the 17-year-old in the different situations. He's handled that, but a little bit of the mental fatigue, as Coach Ron Stidham said. And, you know, he's just been involved in a lot of different situations. And on the trip that he went down, the Parade Magazine situation down to Orlando, Florida, he came back and flew all night, that kind of deal, and wound up with a tough ankle sprain in the very next game. And Coach Stidham attributed some of that to maybe the tiredness from the travel.
Of course, his decision, the University of Kentucky, so now he can put all of his efforts on the Eagles basketball team and making a trip to the Sweet 16.
And they look tough.
Allen gets the 2 free throws.
And don't forget about Clay County in the 13th region now, because they played some teams tough. Corbin, probably one of the teams you might pick at the top. You see Clay County, or rather Tim Couch with another big block. But,
and it's on Reggie Jackson again, and Reggie's thinking, wait a minute, deja vu all over again. We just did that.
But, you know, Clay on the road at Corbin only lost 56-49. And I think when they get their legs under them, you'll see them come back with the big effort, and they'll be tough to beat.
It's out of bounds off of Clay County. Reggie Jackson does have a 3-pointer. I think the only one in the ball game for Clay County. Again, 3 attempts falling short, and the Tigers just haven't had the legs under them tonight. Make no excuses, though. The defense of Leslie County has been tenacious.
Keith, we talk about the fans getting a chance to see Tim Couch, but boy, did they get a chance to see Chad Meade this evening.
Exactly. I'm glad you brought that up.
And when I talked with Tim earlier this year during the football season, he mentioned he hadn't been playing any basketball up to that point. I'm sure Coach Stidham wished he'd maybe shot a few on Sunday afternoon. But Tim told me the addition of Chad Meade would make his team tough, and it certainly has.
Chad Meade fouled. It's going to be on Reggie Jackson as he goes around the corner. Meade has just been uncontrollable all night. He's the thing that got it turned around when it was 4-1. Clay on top by 3. Chad Meade scored a couple of quick baskets, and the Eagles took the lead and have never looked back. However, Clay did cut it to 10 in the 3rd period when we thought, here comes the traditional Clay County run, but Leslie County again turned them away.
Coach Burchell said he wanted to sort of simulate a tournament game. Of course, both of these teams different regions, and felt like with the live TV and so forth, it would have a little bit of a tournament atmosphere. And
Brandon Smith with a feed from Victor Sizemore.
This team just not able to match the intensity level that Leslie County had this evening.
Well, I guarantee you the 13th region is going to be a tough one when you think about Harlan, Corbin, Barberville.
Don't throw out Barberville.
Jackson County.
You got it. And Clay County won't be easy.
County. Anybody I'm leaving out? I'm sure
Bell
there
County's
is.
Playing
Bell
pretty
County.
tough.
As sure as you don't mention someone, I know we'll get called on it, but there's several teams in the 13th that could win it. Same thing in the 14th and the 15th.
Yep. I think a lot of folks counting Paintsville out too quickly, Keith. They've played a tough schedule, and if you look in the top 10, the top 20 in the state, AP and Lichtenhouse, Dave Cantrell's ratings, Lexington paper, you're not going to see Paintsville, but I'll guarantee you they'll give the #1 team, whomever they are, a tough run.
Reggie Jackson with a slicing lay-in. 20-point lead, about 1:50 left. Allen stopping, pumping it up. Chad Allen over the 30 mark now. Darrell Hoskins looking all the way down, had it knocked away, and the foul is going to be on Tim Couch.
Well, they take no prisoners here, Keith. They go
No,
at you.
indeed. I was just thinking that there's a minute 30 left, and you're up by 22, and you're still pressing them. Darrell Hoskins. Tremendous talent. Tough night tonight.
Keith, I think Darrell Hoskins has the Division I skills. Being looked at now, of course, Cumberland, Union, LMU, taking a long look. But that young man right there has the skills, I believe. Jumping ability, outside shot, defensive technique. I think he can play Division I.
Hoskins ended up with 9 points in the second half, a total of 16 for the game. Chad Meade, another lay-in. Well, Chad Meade on television tonight. He missed the other Clay County game, but he's making up for it. He scored enough tonight for 2 games. Sizemore had it knocked away and stolen by Meade. Meade looking back to Couch, and what a pass. Couch couldn't get it to go down. Mullins puts it up and in. I am so impressed with Chad Meade. As soon as he gets the ball, he looks around, spots all of his players, spots the defenders, and makes up his mind where he's going to position everybody and what he's going to do.
And his coach told me that off the dribbling drive, as good as any he's seen. And Keith, you saw it there. We've seen him finish on the dribble drive, something that Clay County been unable to do this game. Terrific pass that time as he kicked back for Couch.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of coaches from the 14th and 13th watching this ball game that getting a look at 2 teams they're going to have to deal with. Mullins completes the 3-point play. Another steal by Mullins and Meade. Meade to Couch, lays up the one-hander for the easy 2.
Clay County had beaten Leslie County 3 times in a row. And now Leslie will take out Clay County for the 4th time in a row. 7 times they've met in Coach Stidham's 18 years, and Leslie's one up.
Jason Allen couldn't get it to go. Well, I said Darrell Hoskins had left the game with a total of 16. He promptly checked back into the ball game and tallied him another 2. So with 40 seconds left to go in the ball game, the Eagles starters will go to the bench, and they get a big round of applause as they have put on a show tonight, leading by 25, 85-60.
You know, Keith, we've talked about the ties that Coach Burchell wears. We haven't talked really about the wardrobe for the Leslie County people, but of course Ron Stidham, certainly one of the top wardrobe men on the bench, and those guys have the best boot collection of any assistant coaching staff or coaching staff that we've seen today.
Nothing gets by you, Jim. We rate everything, no matter where we go. Victor Sizemore canned the 3-pointer. Only the second of the ball game for Clay County. And the Tigers forced a foul with 15 seconds left. I hadn't noticed that, but it's kind of like the Arkansas Razorbacks over here. We do have a lot of the boots.
Well, you see, I also wear the boots, being the old Texas connection there, you see, and Ron Stidham always outdoes me. He's the only guy out there every single time, and he does it again.
What is it, alligator?
I'm not going to hazard a guess from here. Looks like ostrich to me.
All right, and you're wearing what?
We're going to say just the regular snake.
Well, I have a pair. I just call them kickers. 87-63, 24-point lead. It is going to be a happy time in Hyden, Kentucky, because the homestanding Eagles of Leslie County are on their way to another victory, and Coach Stidham trying to get a little bit of everybody into the ball game.
Well, they got some TV time, Keith.
Hoskins with 15 seconds. Looking into the corner for Sizemore. Hoskins, the baseline, had it tipped away, and he is fouled.
Well, Keith, we wrap up another regular season, and we want to wish good luck to all those teams out there because
Indeed.
March Madness soon to be upon us.
We hope maybe to bring you a live broadcast from one of the district tournaments, possibly, and even a regional championship this year. So
all right.
We'll be along with you. We'll let you know as that goes. Of course, you can always get the coverage with Keith Farmer, Drew Diener, the sports team at 6 and 11, and Sports Overtime. Everybody making sure there's 10 players on the floor. Hoskins with the lob and the dunk with 8 seconds left.
We said he had the skills, Keith.
He just has not wanted to quit in this ball game. It has been a tough ball game, but Darrell Hoskins showing one of the reasons why you talk about Division I. He just won't quit. 1 second. Jones, the three-pointer. It is good. Clay County ends it with a 5-point run to make it 87-68. A 21-point advantage for the Eagles of Leslie County as they pick up a big win on Tuesday night.